Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Mom Never Taught Me podcast. I'm your host, Brisha Shea. I am so sorry there wasn't an episode last week, but we're going to start this week strong with an episode on self-confidence. I feel like it's something that I had to talk about because it's been a part of my journey this year, figuring out how to be the most confident version of myself. And hopefully this will help you guys, or, maybe something will resonate with you all. But we're going to get into the episode. Here we are again for another episode, getting deep in my feels in this one. But I felt like it would be a really cool episode to record. But in this episode today, I really wanted to talk about self-confidence, steps to building self-confidence, and defying the haters, because it's something that I've had to I think self-confidence is developed, and it's definitely something that I've been working on a lot this year. I really wanted to dedicate this year to figuring out who I am, what I like, and, to be the best version of myself, the highest version of myself. So I heard this, I don't know if it was a soundbite in a reel or if someone suggested to listen to it. But either way, there's this guy by the name of Ed Milet. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a public speaker, and he drops knowledge bombs all over the place, and it's real, it's easy to comprehend, but every time he says something, at least for me, it's always an aha moment. That makes so much sense. I have been feeling that way. Or you know what? He makes it sound easier than I've made it sound in my head. So he said, someone who is self-confident is indicative of someone that keeps promises to themselves. If you know that you can trust yourself to show up, try your best, and embody the best version of yourself, then you are not concerned with your reputation and what other people think about you. He says that his confidence came from preparation and being consistent with the things that he promised himself. And I was like, holy crap, that. You're telling me that if I listen to the words that he said, the only thing holding me back from being self-confident or the most confident version of myself is me, is how I show up for myself. And it's whoa, it really makes you think about the concept of, do you ever get to a point where, okay, I'm going to paint a scenario. Do you ever disappoint yourself, right? When you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, are you disappointed? Are you upset with yourself? Most of the time, no. Because that's in the realm of procrastination. That's in the realm of laziness. That's in the realm of always thinking that you have to prove yourself to other people and never have to prove yourself to yourself. And this might sound confusing, so I'm going to try to clear it up. But it just made me reflect on my life and all the various decisions and choices that I made where I wanted to do something, or I had to do something simply, and I procrastinated to do that thing. If I wrote on my to-do list, today I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then as the day goes on, I'm the whole day is gone. I don't really want to start doing that. It's going to take too much time. Oh, there's no real deadline for me to finish X, Y, and Z. Maybe I can push it and fit it in somewhere tomorrow. And you procrastinate and make excuses for yourself and why you can't complete something because you're not holding yourself accountable. You know that at the end of the day, there's no one forcing you to do that. There's no one that's waiting on the other end. There's no one waiting on the other end of that task being completed, because it's just you. You wanted to do that. You had to do that. And the only person's going to suffer the consequences or benefit from it is you. And it just made me realize, like, why do we hold ourselves to a lower standard than we do someone else? Why are we more concerned with disappointing someone else or meeting someone else's expectations, but not our own? Like, I don't know. Like, just let this sit for a second. We are more concerned with disappointing other people and having other people's expectations of us be lowered, but we're not holding ourselves to that same stature. Why are we not doing that? I think of how many things I would have done and completed and done 10 times over if I had to do it for someone else. But because I had to do it for myself, I make excuses to not do it. Whether it's because I'm scared of the outcome, whether it's because it's just not important in the hierarchy of things that I want to do, even if it's something I have to do, or that I just don't care because it's just not important. And I find that when you don't keep the promises that you promise to other people, you feel guilty. You have all these feelings associated with someone else seeing you or judging you or critiquing you or being disappointed of you, etc. But you don't feel the way about yourself. Like, why is that? Is it because we know deep down that we just don't have to be accountable to ourselves? Because, I mean, it stems in, I feel like, so I'm going to backtrack for a second. I did this program maybe 4 years ago at this point, and it's basically step 1 to a 3-part program, and it's a full weekend where you have to interact with people. Like, you all want to be there to be better versions of yourself, and they test you every single second. They have games, they have conversations where you don't only have to heal and think about your internal demons or things that you're holding on to, emotions, etc., thoughts, but you're in a room with other people that are going through the exact same thing as you, and you have to have open conversations about your demons and your shortcomings. And it's so interesting to see that we are all so similar. Like, everyone has something that they're trying to overcome, something that they're trying to push through, an insecurity that they're trying to deal with, something that they're still holding on to from the past, or something that they promised themselves they would do and for whatever reason they aren't. And for me, it was very eye-opening because for me, it was a confidence and security thing. There were things that I was holding on to from my past, and there were doubts that were circling around in my head at the time where I was continuing to be stagnant. Like, I wasn't moving forward, and I was so content with not moving forward that I was just in this weird limbo. And the whole process, at the end of the process, I would say, the biggest takeaway that I got from it is, like, why? Like, why are you not doing that thing that you said you were going to do? Why are you scared or nervous to be in a room with people that you don't know? Why are you comfortable with being in the shadows and not being at the forefront, or not being opinionated, or leaning on other people in certain situations instead of owning your truth and who you are, where you've come from, and where you want to be? And I'm saying this because when he said this, it's been 4 years, like I said, and I found that I kept going back into the cycle of, okay, I'm going to stand my ground, I'm going to be confident, I'm going to be opinionated, I'm going to put myself out there, and then I would slowly retreat and lurk in the shadows and be content with whatever life had for me. Like, I would limit myself and get in my own way so that I didn't have to actively or progressively pursue something that I wanted to do or stand out. And I realized okay, I thought that was just like a victim thing. I thought that was just, I don't know, at this point, my identity, who I was. And I realized it was the lack of self confidence. I found it hard to show up for myself and do things that I promised myself I would do, big or small, because I just genuinely did not respect myself in my own time. I respected someone else's time more than my own. I respected someone else's level of authority and capability to do something over my own capability to do something. And I wondered, like, why is that? Like, why do I continuously find myself in these situations where I am placing limitations on myself and being okay with being stagnant in other people's shadows? Like, why? Because I know deep down, like, I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy my creativity. Is it because I'm scared to fail? Is it because I'm scared to try? Like, what is it? What's holding me back? And I just realized that it started with me conquering what mistakes I've done in the past, why I made those mistakes, where I'm at now, and how I'm going to contribute to my future. How am I going to contribute to tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now? Because every small decision has a consequence, whether it's good or bad, right? So why am I stopping myself from experiencing that? Why am I getting in my own way? Why am I not completing things? Why am I not doing? Why am I not taking action towards the things that I want? And because I've created this environment where I'm okay with being stagnant and following orders and not expressing my thoughts and opinions, other people's reputation of me speaks louder than the reputation that I have for myself. And I realize that that is not a proper representation of the best version of me. That was the best stagnant version of me. That was the best quiet, agreeable version of me. That was the version of me that other people liked. That was the version of me that wanted other people to be comfortable around me. Thus sacrificing me being comfortable in any situation because I put their opinions higher than my own. And what? People that either barely know you, want the best for you, don't know you at all. Like, why do their opinions matter more than your own? Why? So anyway, so I have like a 6-step thing that I wanted to say. And the first thing I wanted to say is that you have to show it for yourself first. In this life, you're the only person who knows what it's like to experience your life through your own eyes. Learn to honor your word and do the things that you promise to do for yourself first. But to be honest with your strengths and your shortcomings. Be reliable. Build trust for yourself. Fill up your cup first before anyone else. Like they say in the airplane, like put your mask on first before you can put it on your neighbor, your kid, whatever. Make sure that you're nourishing yourself first before you are nourishing opinions, whatever, of other people. They are second to your life. You are the main character in your life. Everyone else is second. And 2, I want to say, stop caring about other people think about you. The only people that have time to judge you are people that are doing less than you or people that are internally less happy than you are. Remember that. Judgment can stem from inadequacy, jealousy, fear, discontent within their own lives, or simply just have different opinions to you, and that's okay. But Those things have nothing to do with you, and they should not distract you from doing what you please and living your life. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that truly care for you and support you, because it'll be easier to distinguish between advice or a helpful critique than an unsolicited opinion. You cannot care about the opinions of others that do not know you or your journey. From the outside, anyone can have an opinion, but it's not a factual one. I've come to learn that someone who is living and enjoying their life does not have time or the energy to be consumed with judging you living your own. They just don't. There are bigger, more important things to them, and that's how you should be as well. Live your life, follow your dreams, do things that make you happy. Who cares what anyone else thinks? Okay, so number 3. Stay in your own lane. Okay? I think that it's so important to figure out who you are, what you want, and you're not going to have concrete answers. You're going to grow, you're going to evolve. But figure out who you are, figure out what you want to do, figure out the people you want to be around, figure out the life that you want to live. And stay in your own lane. Don't compare yourself to what anyone else is doing. The outcome could be the same, but the journey is always going to be different. Comparison is the thief of joy, and every time you compare yourself to someone else, the faster you lose yourself. We don't have time to lose ourselves. We have only time to find ourselves, okay? Only giving time to find ourselves, to grow, to evolve. Life is a journey. It's going to have ups and downs, but I feel like if you focus on who you are, what you want, where you want to be, you're going to be a lot happier than trying to be someone else or comparing yourself to someone else. Or like I said in the episode before, like, you can't dismiss your accomplishments and your journey. You cannot discredit your journey, where you've come from, and all of the things that you should be proud of just because of what other people are doing or what the expectation is of where you should be or what you should have been doing. No. Stay in your lane, count your blessings, follow the things that you want to do, stop comparing yourself to other people. And number 4, I want to say, trust yourself and the process of constantly evolving. Someone who is confident knows that you have to trust in yourself and your choices and trust the process, because it's always going to evolve. It's always going to get better. You might start something, you might fail, you might fall, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start again. Or maybe veer into a different path or direction, but trust yourself in this process. Trust that you are going to learn something. Trust that you are going to become a better version of yourself at the end of the day, whether it's through accomplishing the thing that you want or by, learning from a mistake. You just have to trust yourself in the process. And the more that you trust yourself, the more you lean into your individuality and the things that make you you. I'll say that again. The more you trust yourself, the more you lean into your individuality and the things that make you you. Spend time nourishing your thoughts. Spend time nourishing your talents, your opinions, your attributes, your characteristics. Learn to love every part of yourself in every stage of your life, because you will not get that time back. You will not get that experience back, and it is vital in your journey for who you are going to become. Spending time getting to know you and acknowledging your strengths and your truths are the most powerful thing that you can do. And no one can take that away from you, because that is you spending time, or have spent the time, figuring out who you are, what you want, and the evolution to get there. It's a process, and you might not like every stage of it, but you have to spend time learning about yourself as much as you'd want to learn about other people, as much as you want to invest time in other things. You are at the core. This life is your experience, and you have to acknowledge the things that make you happy, the things that give you peace, the things that don't make you feel good. You really have to spend the time to get to know you, and that will make you so confident, because you don't want to be that person that's like, oh, I don't know, that's fine, whatever you want. No, be decisive. You have every right. You can take it back at the end of the day, but be decisive. Oh, I don't like chocolate cake. Cool. And then a year from now, chocolate cake is your favorite cake. That is completely fine. But that's you. That's your evolution. That's your process. You don't ever want to be in the in-between anymore. You want to be concrete in how you feel in that moment. You want to be vocal. You want to be expressive. And you have every right to do those things. So stop holding yourself back. Trust yourself. And when you acknowledge and appreciate those things, you really get to appreciate your self-worth. And that is confidence. That is what confident people radiate. They are sure of themselves. They're able to convey their thoughts. They show up for themselves first, because at the end of the day, the only person they're going to let down is themselves. They don't care about what other people think. They're focused on their journey, staying in their own lane, and they trust the process. So I hope that this episode helps someone, and if you already have all the self-confidence in the world, send it to someone who could use a little help. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at MNTM podcast. So Mom Never Taught Me podcast. And then, give us a rate, a like, a comment wherever you listen to podcasts. Right now we are only on Spotify, but I'm still working on Apple and Google Podcasts. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.